Good morning, Greg here, burn at both ends. Burning on the front end of Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018. It is 7:12 a.m. Pacific. A little bit later this morning, and today's post topic is exactly why. Today's topic is family is a top priority, so we're just going to jump right into it. I had to close the garage door. The garbage people are coming by, and so the truck makes lots of noise, and so just to make this post crisp and clean and close the garage door. Feels a little bit awkward, but I think I'll get through. Anyway, so this morning's post is family is a top priority. Staying connected with my family, I feel, is extremely important and trumps almost everything else that goes on in life. I'd say probably second to health, because without my health, I can't do much anything else. And so it's critical that I connect with them. I just got back from a 5-day trip to New York City. Spent some time with my dad and my brother celebrating my dad's 75th birthday. It was an awesome time. Had a bunch of business meetings on the front end and back end of the trip. So very successful for my dad, for my brother. I got to see my nieces and my sister-in-law. And yeah, just spent some time in New York City. Went off my paleo diet because I had plenty of pizza. Had some dim sum. Went to a steakhouse. It was just a really good time. My dad really appreciated. And I think I mentioned it last night, but because I've been doing this burn at both ends work, and because I've been into documenting things, content, creating content with video, with audio, with pictures, I have a really good documentation set for the weekend. So I'll be able to look back on it and really understand exactly what we did between my ensing, between picking up some audio with my lavalier mic, and then lots of photos of lots of food because I love food. But let's get back to the topic. Yeah, so I just got back from this trip, and what's something that I've noticed is critical is when I get back in the morning, because I got back late, so everyone's sleeping, is checking in with everyone in the family and just making sure that we're connecting, that we're understanding what happened in our various worlds as we're apart. This is just so critical, I think, to keeping the relationship strong and kind of bringing resolution to the trip. It kind of like resolves the trip, and so now we can kind of get back into our routine here. And so let's get into the outline. So the first thing is the power of stories. I'm big on stories, telling stories, saying things out loud, seeing who's going to help. But this is a different setting for a story. This is, I want to hear their stories about, from each of my kids, from their point of view, from my wife, about what it was like without daddy being around, what they did, what was fun, what was challenging. It's very important for me to learn these things and hear these things. They want to hear my stories. They want to hear about New York City. My oldest daughter, who's 7, is just really likes New York City. And she was upset that she couldn't come with me. And I definitely want to try to take her maybe later this year, because I'll be heading back to New York City. Tonight's post will be about the connections I made on the business side of things, on the burn at both ends side of things, and why I'll be going back to New York City in a few months, for follow-ups and collaborations. Very excited about that. And as we tell these stories, so now back to the stories. I tell the stories about New York City. My girls and my wife tell me the stories about what happened here. And then it's really fun to see where the questions come up, to see the little gears turning in my daughter's heads and see what they ask about, what they inquire about. To me, that tells me a lot about their thinking process. And I'm a big fan of critical thinking, and it's fun to go through that with my daughters. And then also just to, I find that with these stories, this is where we create this connection through empathy. And this is an area that I need to work on. I know that, because I can be kind of quick thinking and I get right into solution, and that's not always the best way to handle these things. And so patience, listening, empathy, this creates connection. Connection is critical, because now we can move forward. Now we can, like I said, resolve the trip and get back into the family routine, because the family routine is really important. That's like the foundation of what we do. Just the fact that we can rely on each other. We have this schedule, we have our weekday schedule, we have our weekend schedule. This really creates that cohesion, so we can really leverage each other, and that structure really helps. I find that especially with my kids, the structure really helps. And especially with my wife. Lone parenting is tough. Me being away for 5 days and her doing all the tasks, there is never time off in that situation. And so, especially with juggling a full-time job and house chores, really tough on her. And so it's really good to hear about her struggles, learn about what I can do in the future to help, maybe what I need to do right now as I get back to help us get back into the routine, because that's critical. And so just listening, patience, empathy. These are really critical things, and they create that connection and, allow us to really hear each other, and they, establish, that strong love bond, once again. And I find that, the result of this connection, this empathy, it creates a real positive environment in the house, which is, for those that have families, that is such a critical thing. This positive foundation, this positive environment, people, get in good moods. We help each other. We just have positive, it's just a good positive vibe. And what ends up happening with that positive vibe is then we end up supporting each other to succeed. Like I needed to bust in here to do my post. My wife has to leave work in about 10 minutes. So I'm just banging out a quick post because, so the burn this morning was getting up early and connecting with the family. And back to the supporting each other is I want to teach my kids how important it is to support the family, to support the family goals. In addition to individual goals, right? We all have the things that we want to do for ourselves, but then there's the family goals, and sometimes you have different priorities, but got to keep the family in mind. This is being of service to other people. How can maybe my older daughter can help my younger daughter get dressed this morning because mommy and daddy, need to connect, and we have a lot of things that we got to catch up on, and so just we're supporting all of us, because we all have to get to school and work on time. And being of service is a big piece to that. So anyway, that's tonight's this morning's post. Just all about family, how it's a top priority. Connection, empathy, support, being of service. These are all critical things. So and if it's not a family and it's friends, it's just the people closest to you. It's the people closest to me. And this is just really critical. And so anyway, hope you enjoyed this morning's post. Subscribe, comment down below. Tell me about, how you connect with your family. Tell me about, your challenges, in that. What gets in the way of it. I love solving problems. I want to be of service. That's the whole point of this channel. So I would love to hear about things that I can help with. So please post some comments down below. I have linked some motivational videos in the description. Check those out. And then you hear some beats in the background. That's my alter ego G Money. I write beats. I've been drumming for about 20 some odd years. I love writing beats. I write beats for like drum sextets and drum quintets. So check out the beats. There's a link down below. You can go to SoundCloud and listen if you like. It's really good music to work to, by the way, because it's no lyrics and it's just nice beats in the background. So anyway, that's today's post. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you on the back end of the day.